What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today we're going to be talking about something historical, okay? Taking a deep dive into the history books to talk about somebody that might have been arguably the unluckiest person in history. And that's the guy who is officially the first human we've ever found to have died of a shark attack. I'm just saying, being born 3,000 years ago is already bad enough luck, right? Like, we got iPhones, we have modern plumbing, this dude had to just, like, play with a stick when he was a kid. But imagine that's not bad enough, dude. You're fishing in 1500 BC, only to get snacked on by, like, the descendant of a megalodon. I don't know, I just thought this was interesting. Obviously, some of y'all are thinking it's stupid, but the headline that got my attention is, man who died 3,000 years ago with 790 injuries is earliest known shark attack victim. Dude, that's not a shark attack, man. That's like a shark battle. 790 bites? This man was tougher than nails. No wonder cavemen are like stereotyped as being strong. This dude literally took like 80 shark bites to get down. He was probably wrestling with the shark for fun at first until it started to get pissed off, man. Like, goodness gracious, people nowadays can barely take one bite from a shark. They just don't make them like they used to. Yo, is that one of the things that, like, old people used to complain about? Back in my day, I used to walk up hills both ways in the snow. Yeah, well, 3,000 years ago, they were taking 8 shark bites, so you're a little bit of a bitch, Grandpa. I'm just keeping it a buck. Oh my gosh, that's right, I said the naughty word. Honestly, though, this is one of those things where, like, yeah, you went down in history, but just not for a super dope reason, you know? Like, you're right, they're still talking about me 3,000 years after I passed. It's like, yeah, because, you know, you're the first guy to get attacked by a shark. The way you went out was just so horrible, they can't believe it. Getting attacked by a shark already sucks, but you know 3,000 years ago that the medicine that they were doing wasn't working, dude. They were like, oh, his bone's sticking out of his leg? Just pull it out, it'll regrow. Archaeologists recreated the brutal death of the earliest known shark attack victim who was killed 3,000 years ago. Oxford-led researchers have been investigating evidence for violent trauma on the skeletal remains of prehistoric hunter-gatherers at Kyoto University. You know, there's like certain scientists that I know are into things that are really propelling society. They're like, I'm trying to solve global warming. I'm making electricity with zero emissions. You know, I'm designing things that are gonna like decrease disease. But then there's the group of people that are like, I really want to figure out and recreate traumatic, brutal deaths from 3,000 years ago. And those are the scientists that I think I'm a little bit afraid of. Like, that's the person who's crazy smart already, right? They're willing to, you know, do all the research, and then they double down and they're like, but I really, really want to research the craziest ways people died 3,000 years ago. I understand it's interesting, but I don't know if I would have the tenacity to be looking at bones for like 9 hours a day and just hoping to find something whack. I feel like obviously hunter-gatherers had to have had some of the worst injuries, you know, because they were really living it risky every day. Like, by comparison, we have carpal tunnel syndrome, dude, our wrists get a little tired from typing too much. They were literally out there like, I won't eat unless I catch deer with bare hands. Just imagine, man, you're out there trying to mind your own business. Next thing you know, what's this? A saber-toothed tiger bearing down on you, trying to eat you. Like, that was the hunter-gatherers, dude. I feel like all of their deaths were traumatic by default. It didn't really matter what it just wasn't that great. Whether they died to a shark attack, saber-toothed tiger, another tribe coming in and eating them, it probably was not fun. Like, even if they did die of old age, what was it, like 21 years old, dude? Oh my gosh, he has made double digits. Ooh, like being 10 was a big deal. I always see this thing sometimes, like these memes on Facebook, like, back in my day, families were like 8 kids. It's like, yeah, back in your day, half of them weren't gonna survive childhood, so you had to stack the odds just in case. Things have changed, man, and that's okay. I'm just saying, I don't think I would last long as a hunter-gatherer. I accept that. I'm a very modern human, dude. Sometimes I see people like, nah, I could take it if I had to go back to that. Yeah, you might be able to, but you wouldn't want to. Huntering and gathering, oh, that was a weird way to say that, sounds fun until you, like, are on year 2. You haven't eaten for weeks, like, it's not fun then. Yeah, I'm sure it's fun to eat deer that you hunt when you can still go to Walmart, but now imagine that being your only option. Alyssa White and Professor Rick were reviewing the remains of a man riddled with traumatic injuries from the previously excavated site of that place. In their report, the pair said, "We were initially flummoxed by what could have caused his 790 deep serrated injuries to the man. There were so many injuries, and yet he was buried in the community burial ground. The injuries were mainly to the arms, legs, and front of the chest and abdomen." And they're like, how did he end up here? Usually someone attacked by a bear is found in the woods. Truthfully though, like, I understand why they're researching it. My one question is like, what do we really learn? Other than like, yeah, this dude got eaten by a shark. Like, I'm just kind of confused on what the point is. Yeah, cool, he did. Like, other than it just being a really cool fact, that's about it. Like, are these the scientists that just worked on, like, finding cool facts? Like, you know all the useless science facts that your dad told you when you were a little kid and you thought, like, made him a science genius, you know? Out there is just a team of scientists, and they're, like, called the Random Fact Team, and their just job is to find cool stuff that's a random fact. This is the oldest guy who got attacked by a shark, and then they, like, cross their arms in an anime pose. Since archaeological cases of shark reports are extremely rare, they turned to forensic shark attack cases for clues and worked with expert George Burgess of the Florida Program for Shark Research. The team concluded the man known as Number 24, okay, that's sick, died between 1370 to 110 BC. The distribution of wounds strongly suggests the victim was alive at the time of attack, as his left hand was taken off as a possible defense wound. Yo, they just called him Number 24. Like, y'all did this much research, you exhumed his body, you've been messing with his remains, and, like, you still haven't given him a name? That just seems kinda cold, bro. Like, yeah, whatever, his left hand was sheared off in defense. Number 24 was an absolute idiot for his defense strategy. Like, come on, at least give him a name. I will say, though, as far as I'm concerned, to spin this into a positive, when I read Number 24, I just thought of, like, codename Kids Next Door, you know? Number 24, reporting for duty. Like, dude, just imagine this was the original spy, and his job was to infiltrate the secret shark society that attacked Atlantis, and, like, this is what ended up happening. We don't know. You weren't there. You can't tell me I'm wrong. You can't tell me I'm right either. Dude, I'm just like, now we kind of have a little bit more understanding of this. If a shark started to attack you, obviously it sucks, you're freaking out, but like, oh, it's a shark attack. Back then, dude, he probably just thought this was some strange water demon, like, coming to eat him. You know, every time it would rain, they're like, God's pissed, you know? Like, what did they think a shark attack was, bro? That could not have been anything good. He just probably thought the water demon was just eating him for lunch or some crazy stuff. And that's not me making fun of, like, any culture. That's just 3,000 years ago. We didn't know anything, bro. If I didn't know any better, like, if I had no clue what a shark was and it started eating me, I would assume that I pissed off something somewhere that, like, sent an evil assassin after me, bro. If you've never seen one before, tell me those things don't look like they're a demon. An excavation record showed he was also missing his legs and placed on top, or he was missing his legs and they were placed on top of his body in an inverted position. Jesus, bro, that's brutal. The report added, given the injuries, he was the victim of a shark attack. The man may have been fishing with companions at the time because he was recovered quickly, and based on the character and distributions of the tooth mark, the most likely species responsible was either a tiger or a white shark. Alright, here's the one thing that, like, is kind of crazy about this to me, bro. It's been, what, 3,000 years since all this went down, give or take a couple, who cares? We're talking in big numbers here. And since then, sure, a lot has changed. We've built cities, we've been to space, hell, we put a billionaire in a PP-shaped rocket and sent him to the moon for all we care. You know, it just doesn't really matter. We've come very far. But at the end of the day, we're still humans, and sharks can still F us up. Like, even 3,000 years ago, fishermen eaten by sharks. This year, probably someone eaten by a shark. No matter how much humans, like, love to pretend that everything's different, bro, we've changed so much, the world can still own us, dude. Like, that's why it cracks me up. Sometimes humans, you know, oh, yeah, man, we're so important, this. Dude, most animals on this planet could still mess us up. We're just really lucky that we got thumbs. Even 3,000 years ago, bro, people were still afraid of sharks. We have that in common, dude. Humanity has changed a lot, but it also hasn't. You know what I mean? I just think that's pretty cool. Regardless, dude, this guy's burial was brutal. They just grabbed his leg out of the shark's mouth, like, didn't know what to do with it, and just tossed it on top of him. Man, he'd probably want that somewhere near the rest of him. I don't know. Like, goodness, man. Back in the day, hunter-gatherers weren't playing jokes. I guess that's just what you're used to, dude. If you're a fisherman back in the day when, like, you didn't know what sharks were up to, and if they just came and sniped a guy once a week, you're like, it just is what it is, I guess. Angry water demons, am I right? Anyways, guys, I just thought this was a crazy thing, and I felt like talking about it. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought of the video. If you really want to help out, subscribe, turn on notifications, or use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. If you use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout today, it's actually 30% off, so go do that. And if you're watching this video after it comes out, then if you use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout, it's still 10% off, so you can still do it. Go for it. Other than that, my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, can be found in the description down below. And if you take a second to look on your screen now, you will see the coolest merch to ever exist in the history of the planet, and if you go in the description, you can also find a link to it there. On that note, guys, I think that is going to do it for the video, though. I'm going to go be really thankful I don't live near the ocean because sharks are scary. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot, and I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.